Okay, welcome. I am so excited. I mean, literally every time I think I say that, I'm so excited to share the people, the energy, and the information with you today because we're going to be talking about energy and energy that you bring to relationships. So, how does energy manifest things in relationships? And what is the energy that you bring? So with that, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to talk somewhat high level just about chakras so that you have an idea of what we're talking about if this is completely new to you. And if it's not, you're good to go. Oh, that didn't work.
Oh, let me turn my screen.
Yeah, thanks. Let's delete that one because it's empty. All right, that was your preview on what we're about to see. Okay. So the energy that your energy and how to balance your energy and the energy that you bring into relationships. Um, successful relationships are created with awareness and intention. And in the green room, we get to chat before this starts. We were talking about how if we let life happen, then we're just like a balloon in the wind. And if we're drifting to where we like to go and it makes us happy, then we're happy. And if this balloon in the wind drifts someplace that is not where we want it to go, then we're not. But that's like an external thing of just being reactive. And it's almost like putting your future into the hands of other people. So there's another way to address that, and that is to take the initiative and be responsible. Even if it's a little thing, to take ownership of how things are going to go. And so that's why successful relationships are created with awareness and intention. Everyone can see this, right? Did you see my screen? Now I can't see you guys. Yes.
Yes.
See it? Nod yes. Okay, just checking. So the reason that this is so valuable in what we're talking about is that you can align yourself to invite someone in who's on your same energy level, on your same frequency. And we've talked about this through the series. But this is going to be someone who's comfortable to be with and interesting and exciting, but also knows how to, ride the roller coaster of life with you. And I invite you to paint the relationship that you would like, to dance with it, to create your energy and, intentionally bring your energy into the relationship. So let's go. So the information that I've got here is from John Gottman's 7 Principles for a Successful Relationship. And what we're going to talk about, again, really high level, is enhancing love maps, nurturing fondness and admiration, turning toward each other, accepting influence, because we do have an influence on one another, solving solvable problems, overcoming gridlock. So if there's something that you can't agree on, how do you get through that? And creating a shared meaning. So if you don't know anything about chakras, it's really the energy, and I'll invite our special guest, Cheryl, to enhance on this. It's the energy that's running through your body. And we start at the bottom at the root chakra, and this is your relationship foundation. And this is your relationship with yourself, your family, your community, your intimate partner. So it's more than just one aspect of who you are and what you represent in the world. This first chakra, the root chakra, is basically means that you have a foundation. And in the relationship to, or in respect to relationships, it's knowing your partner really well, understanding their worries, hopes, goals, and that you're truly interested in keeping up to date on what's going on in your partner's life. We had talked about the value of having a partner who could make decisions on your behalf in a way that you would make them for yourself, that there's so much communication, trust, and respect that you feel comfortable that this person would make decisions the way that you would make them if you, for some reason, were unable to make them. It shows that you truly care all in every way in the relationship. The root chakra at the very base of your spine is represented with the color red. It's connected to the mother archetype, and it signifies the stability and strength in your life and in the relationship. And if you want to strengthen this foundation, you can sit with your partner, close your eyes, hold hands, and focus on that root chakra, thinking about one way that you can be a nurturing partner in the relationship. The second chakra, so we're moving up, is cherishing one another. So once you have that rooted foundation, the second chakra moving up is the orange chakra. They've all got colors. I think they've got shapes and all kinds of other matrices on that. But again, we're going to keep it high level. This is all about nurturing, fondness, and admiration. It means you truly like and respect your partner. You're proud to be by their side. And you enjoy this emotional, physical, and intellectual connection. So this is someone who you would talk about being in a relationship with publicly because you're proud of that connection. It also represents a sense of abundance, well-being, pleasure, and creativity. So what a delicious chakra, right? The exercise here that you could do with a partner is to close your eyes, visualize this chakra, and see yourself as the empress or emperor in your relationship. Allow yourself to feel pleasure, feel the well-being of this connection, feeling abundance. And then when you open your eyes, showing your partner this affection. Now, again, I talk about all of this. The chakras are for you as an individual as well. So you can do this with yourself, your inner child, as a partner. The third chakra is about relationship strength, turning toward one another. And it means you're able to connect with respect, enough that you can offer support. And as we talked about before, and the connection is strong enough that you can offer support during times of conflict. This chakra is reminding you to remain confident and strong and caring, even during conflict, because you know that the relationship is sturdy enough, stable enough, you care enough that a conflict is not going to break that down in any way. The third chakra is located in your upper abdomen area. It's represented by yellow. It's the warrior archetype. And how to use this chakra would be, again, to sit with yourself, sit with your partner, enjoy a cup of chamomile tea. Chamomile is a yellow flower, and channel your strong, respectful, caring inner warrior. So if you or your partner were warriors, how would you connect together? And then you can discuss a recent conflict and ask, did you feel heard? Does it feel resolved? Is there anything you need from me? This reminds me of a really funny story I'm going to share with you. I was upset about something with my late husband, and was so upset about it, I could yell, exhaling and inhaling. Like I just did not stop. And he was definitely tapping this because he heard everything I said. I knew he heard me. And he says, "What else?" And I'm like, oh, you're giving me a chance for more? Okay, well, and I came up with more, breathing in and out, blah, 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 dragon on fire. And I just let go of everything. He says, "What else?" And he kept saying, "What else?" And he was holding space for me. "What else?" And he said, did we resolve each of these things? He literally did this. And he's like, "Is that resolved? Is there any reason that this is ever going to be a problem in your life, in my life, in our life again?" "No." "What else?" And I came up with something else. We walked through all of this until it was like there was nothing else bothering me. And what a gift to be held in that. So that's what I wanted to share with you. The fourth is the heart chakra, and it's the relationship, love and longing. And I really paused when I understood the love and the longing, because that to me felt like the law of attraction. Um, because you do long for that love when it's not there, and when you find it, you long to continue that flow. So I sort of just loved that statement right there. The fourth principle is for a successful relationship is accepting influence. When you remember you're on the same team as your partner and you have the same goal of happiness, joy, connection, health, then you're able to be open and flexible. And as you move through the relationship spirals, those, you're, as a team member, your role as a team member changes. There are some things you specialize in and some things that they can balance you out with. So knowing that that's okay is also makes you a good teammate. I would say I love having this person on my team because they're a strong team player. I want that person on my team. I don't need to overshadow other people to know that I'm creating an abundant team. You'll know this difference happens when in the relationship you start saying the word we rather than just me or I, and you will long for each other and the special moments that you share together. This fourth chakra allows you to nurture the quality of love. And we alluded to that. I didn't go too deep. We'll talk about topics that we want to go do a deep dive on, because the quality of love is, we could do a whole series on that. Offering forgiveness, experiencing joy and inner peace enough to know that you can find focus in chaos. Whatever is going on around you does not shake this connection and this relationship. It's located in the center of your chest, just above your heart. It's represented by the color green, and it's connected with the lover archetype. And the way that you can improve your relationship with this chakra is to sit together with one hand on your heart and the other on your partner's heart, and ask your partner, what does he or she need to feel loved by you? Next, commit to making love in action as well as feelings. So that could be all of the love languages, for example. The fifth is your throat chakra. And this is all about solving solvable problems. When relationships face challenges, some may be small, some may feel insurmountable. The importance of that triad of communication, trust, and respect becomes more valuable. So if you're able to speak and have difficult conversations together, and as I work with you, and if as you're embarking on relationships or you're in them, starting those difficult conversations early on make it easy to have difficult conversations later. So I always encourage it, just little difficult ones at a time, just outside the comfort zone. And there are some things you need to address as you're moving closer. And when you're in this relationship, opening up these difficult conversations, people run for the hills. Whereas I say, if you can have a conversation about the tough stuff, then everyone feels more comfortable being in their authentic self, even when things get hard. So rather than avoiding difficult things, build the way that you get through them together, so that in the event and inevitably, when the challenges get bigger, you already have that process in place naturally. And you have support instead of feeling like you're hiding something in the relationship. And then also accept that some issues are unsolvable and find a way to have those present as well. This fifth chakra is represented by the color blue. It's connected to the communicator archetype, and it means that words have weight and they speak from a higher self and love and honesty. I say, what you say and do matters. So care about it, move with intention on that. And the exercise for this one is to visualize the color blue, show your love without words. For example, with a smile, a touch, a gesture, and then verbally share a thought that communicates respect for their unique personality. The sixth is the third eye chakra. It's about overcoming gridlock. So if there are things that are unsolvable, this kind of conflict where you're feeling frustrated, hurt, stuck, unheard, devalued, or disconnected. And the way to move through this requires motivation, openness, the willingness to explore the underlying themes and mutual respect. This I think is one of my superpowers when I help other people navigate challenging situations with love so that they have complete clarity and a clear path to move forward in a very, very confident, competent, loving way. The sixth chakra offers powerful avenue to help you focus, see the picture, the big picture, as well as the details, and tap into your natural wisdom, intuition, and imagination. It's located between your eyebrows, represented by the color indigo, and connected to the intuitive archetype. So the way that you can, enhance this chakra is to focus between your eyes, visualize the color indigo, allow your intuitive archetype to bring you insight. Ask yourself, what might get in the way of allowing you to be completely open in your relationship? And this is the obstacles or pitfalls. If you can visualize them ahead of time, then you can see them coming and you're more prepared when you're on that point in the path. And then open your eyes and share your insight, vocally, verbally in the present moment. The seventh chakra is your crown chakra, and this is creating shared meaning. It's truly a spiritual dimension that creates a deep, connected inner life together. Couples that nurture rituals, roles, goals, symbols, enjoy a strong sense of shared meaning that help them to be resilient during times of challenge and enjoy a feeling of being a strong team. The seventh chakra is connected to being spiritual, and to allow yourself and your partner to link chakras and relationships. It sees the beauty within each of you and your collective relationship, located at the top of your head, represented by the color violet, and is connected to the guru archetype. And an exercise or activity that you can do with this one is to close your eyes, focus on the crown chakra, feel the energy flowing in and down and settling on your inner guru. This inner guru will offer you wisdom about your dreams and goals in your life and in your relationship. And then you can ask your partner what they dream about for their lives, for your lives together, and how you can help them realize that vision. So bringing energy into your relationships is a way for you to use your energetic gifts, your chakras, the wisdom of the Jungian archetypes to allow you to grow emotionally and spiritually. And connecting chakras in relationships will help you to live balanced, connected, conscious lives as an individual and also as an intimate couple. So with that, I'm very, very honored and excited to share with you today our guest, Cheryl Stelte. Cheryl is a spiritual teacher, healer, author, mentor, coach, and a personal retreat guide. She is going to do some hot seating for us today. So she's going to do live chakra readings. So I'm so glad you're able to join us today. When we have love in our lives, everything changes. When we feel safe, everything changes. Who are these people who you are attracting? What are they reflecting to you? And what are the lessons that you're learning from them? So with that, let's talk about energy in relationships. So Cheryl, thank you so much for being here. I'd like to turn the mic over to you. I don't know if you can actually do that. Invite you to, share a little bit about yourself, and then we can jump on in any way that you see appropriate.
Okay, thank you. I am absolutely thrilled to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Michelle, and everyone. And I love this topic, you know, successful relationships with intention and awareness. And I think those are two major components to any relationship. And I would like to first talk a little bit about awareness. And so the more aware we are of our own chakras, the more beneficial it is in our own personal lives and especially in relationships. And so, excellent overview, Michelle. That was fantastic. Great overview of the chakras. And has anyone here ever meditated on on your chakras? If you can raise your hand. No, no, yes. Okay.
We've
no.
loved to learn.
All right. It's something I've been doing for a lot of years, for decades, actually. And I have discovered a lot through that. And I can say it's actually very beneficial. But I will talk a little bit more from an energetic perspective with respect to the elements and the chakras and how that affects relationships. So going back to the root chakra, each of the chakras sort of has a primary element, and we as people all have a primary element ourselves. So if we can start to understand ourselves better, like I go back to your story example, which was excellent in expressing your husband's element of earth, very strong earth there, stable, solid, dependable. He can hold you in that. It's like he's like a rock. He is your rock in that situation. And you're just letting it all out. You're very fiery and you're expressing it, fire, 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 fire. And what often happens when we have earth and fire together, what does earth and fire make? It makes a volcano. And volcanoes can be very scary and dangerous and harmful. But we can also mix earth and fire. And that was a prime example of a healthy combination. He could stay in his element and allow you to be in yours. And so with the root chakra, it's very, very much about earth, you know, solid, stable, and so safe. So safe. Earth people are very reliable and they live in the root chakra. That's where they are. People with the earth element, those two. And it doesn't mean they don't have the other elements. We are all a combination of all the elements, but everyone has one outstanding element, one that is sort of their drive, their motivating factor. So it doesn't mean that we want to attract someone who's the same element. As a matter of fact, life would probably get pretty boring. We want a complement. We want a contrast and try and figure out how we can meld together. And to also accept and appreciate that element and the strength of whatever chakra they live in, that they primarily live in. So energy, like Michelle said, energy comes in the crown, you know, and that's where we really feel it, but it comes all the way down to the root chakra. And then it all comes back up. And the throat chakra is an expression of all the chakras. So when you were talking later on about having conversations and expressing and all this stuff with the throat chakra, we really want to make sure that what we're expressing is not a distortion or a weakness in one of the chakras. So the elements exist and a chakra. So let's say, I'll stick with the earth for now. Earth can be so incredibly stable that they don't move on anything. They are stuck, rigid, no flexibility whatsoever. That's a distortion of earth. There's just too much of it. And a weakness of earth, I'm just saying this off the top of my head. I think it's kind of like, it could be like quicksand. It's sunken in. There's not enough of it. That's a weakness in earth where they may have that. That's their main element, but it's weak. It's not there. It's like building a foundation on sand. Same kind of thing. So where is your voice coming from? Is it coming from a nice, healthy, solid chakra, or is it in a distortion, or is it in weakness? So it's good to check in with yourself. what's going on here. And I'm all about wound healing. I had a psychiatrist say to me the other day, you are an expert wound healer. Like, yeah, that's what I do. I'm an expert wound healer. So we want to heal the wounds that are in the chakras, and wounds are all energy. And what they are stuck emotions in the subconscious. And that's the kind of meditation I do. And it's incredibly empowering, because we want to, when we have those conversations with our beloved, we want to express from that chakra in a healthy place. So the root is very much safety, stability, reliability, solid, foundation, grounded, all that good stuff. And then the sacral chakra is water. It flows. That's the juicy chakra. So juicy. You think of sexuality, creativity. Creativity wants to flow. It wants to be expressed. It's all about one-on-one relationships. That's the intimacy. Heart, absolutely intimate as well. It's about, the heart is all the elements. So in the sacral chakra, we can be, someone who, how some people talk and it's almost like listening to someone singing. You just love listening to them talk. That's a sacral chakra. That's a water. Also artists. The artist archetype, very sacral chakra. They really express. And it's also the beloved. It's the deepest capacity to receive love. There's this flow that they can receive. How many times do you might end up with some, I have a history of relationships. I was married 13 years and divorced. Not a good relationship, not healthy. Neither of us healthy. Single for a lot of years, and now I'm in an incredibly healthy relationship. I was happy to read all the stuff and how well we communicate now, all that good stuff. But at one point in my life, I could not easily slip into that water and receive love well. It just wasn't there for me. And so to be aware of that, am I able to consciously receive all this affection, all this admiration, all this adoration? That's all sacral chakra. Let it in and express it equally. And actually, often the sacral chakra, we're going to lean one way or the other. In most relationships, well, there always is the lover and the beloved. And that's what makes the perfect fit is not the same. It's not a payback thing. Oh, well, I remember an old boyfriend, I gave him a massage and his response was right away, well, I'll give you one next. I said, no, it's not about that. I just wanted to give, end of story. Sometimes it's just a matter of receiving, end of story. So the sacral chakra flows, and it's also, water is all the emotions, and water is where all the love is. And so there's a lot of water in the heart, but there's also, the sacral chakra is very much about flow. And then the solar plexus, which is where Michelle was in that conversation, that intense conversation or conflict, whatever you want to call it, is fire. Oh man, it is fire, and fire can burn, and fire can be so destructive, but fire lights up the truth. Fire lights up the truth. So the solar plexus to me is so much about truth and power. When truth is so important, I'm very fiery too. I want to know the truth. I love people who are totally honest. Just be honest with me 100%. There is so much power in the truth, that sense of knowing. So you can see where do you operate from. Fire is very much about, you make a decision quickly, you want to do it, and you jump in with both feet. You don't need to do all the research. The earth person is going to research, they're going to think about it, they're going to sleep on it overnight, maybe another night. We'll see. It's hard to get them to change their mind. But fire people, they just know. They trust their gut. They got the truth. That's the solar plexus. It's right there. And even, do you ever get that feeling of fire in the solar plexus, that the upper abdomen, where someone says something or you're thinking about something else and you feel this burning? You're getting close to the truth there. Something connects with you. And so we express our power, and power is not always outward and aggressive. Power can be very soft and gentle. You talk to some people, or some people have very few words, But when they do speak, everybody in the room listens. That's solar plexus. So it's however you bring that to the table. And what'll really wounding in the solar plexus is very much about, you know, sometimes when kids grow up and their emotions are not recognized, no, you don't really feel that way, or that's not what you say to people when they're corrected a lot or criticized. It really messes up the solar plexus. And so it's hard to operate from that perspective, and they start to say what other people want to say. That goes up to the throat chakra, and that comes from not from their power being taken away. And also abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse affects all these three lower chakras in different ways, but it all kind of boils down to, well, they don't feel safe and stable. There's no flow in their lives. They can't be themselves. And the solar plexus, their power is stripped of them. And so the importance of regaining all of that back in those three chakras is so important. But if you can, solar plexus is often very outgoing, bubbly, high energy. That's how we usually see them. And it's up to that person to learn. We all have to learn how to get along with all the elements, but it's, you know, I had learned years ago that no, earth and fire don't get along that well. Well, my husband and I are earth and fire. He loves my fieriness. I love his stability and his reliability. It's like, oh my gosh. So the opposites actually can bring us so much incredible joy in the relationship. And it's outward, it's high energy, and often intense. So being around an earthy person, when you like to have intense conversations and go deep and really get to the truth of the matter, doing that with an earth person can be fantastic. Two fire people together can just be like on a high from having that kind of conversation. But also the water person can create steam in the relationship. You put fire and water together, oh my gosh, it's just fantastic. It's just lovely combination. You get all this wonderful steam, so you have the flow and that high energy all together. And then we come up to the heart chakra, and that's everything. And it's really, to me, the heart chakra is very much about love and compassion. And it's that desire. And that's where you get that intention that you are all talking about. What is the intention in the relationship? But even sometimes when things are adrift or you're not getting along, just to say, I just want to be close with you. I want to understand you. I want us to feel connected through this somehow, you know. And so that's the place, that feeling into our heart and what is true for us, which the truth comes from the solar plexus, but it comes up to the heart, and to really hold that in there. And the heart is very much about seeing the good and the bad and the bad and the good, and to be able to accept the other's point of view, and just trying to be, it's that openness. And really, I think of from a high spiritual level, it's really the universe, or if you believe in God, the universe or God wanting to move through all of us. And that longing, we love another. It's the universe moving through us. And we receive the love of the whole universe or God through another. And it's that interaction. And so we can open up to something in relationship that is beyond the depth of human knowing, that we can get into a space of just, wow, like unexplainable depth of energy and love and flow. And so there is also, you know, all the elements are in the heart, but there's a depth of water that just runs through our whole system. You know, all the chakras, the upper chakras and the lower chakras all come together in the heart. And it's that love that will override anything. If you're in the middle of an argument, like basically your husband was saying to you, I love you, I will listen to all this. The love was just there, and that will hold everything. And that's the most powerful thing of all. I remember saying that to my husband once when we were having an argument. I said, I just want us to be close. I just want us to love each other. This is really hard right now, you know, and it changes things. There's a shift that happens. And so then we have the throat chakra, which is also a combination, but very much air, and air starts to get much lighter. But the throat chakra is also a bottleneck. You look at our physical form, and the body comes up to, all of a sudden we have the shoulders, you know, we're coming up like this, and then it's a bottleneck. And so it's where the energy of the other chakras comes up and gets intensified for us to speak. And we are all meant to speak our truth. We are all designed to express the truth of who we are, what we're thinking, what we're feeling. It's all about that expression, and it's not just with our voice, but even in our actions, creatively, physically. It's that real expression. And the more we are in touch with our true selves, if we can face what our struggles are in our chakras, the more we access what's true for us. More we access our beauty. The sacral chakra is also very much about beauty, and it all needs to come up and out this chakra. And so if we can access what's getting in our way and heal that, we're going to express the beauty of our being, you know, and we're going to find ways to even say things that can be really difficult. We can say them in a beautiful, loving, and accepting and kind way through the throat chakra when we're aware of all these other chakras. And in all the work I've done with people over the years, I've found that most people have pretty serious throat chakra issues because it's a culmination of the other chakras of what's going on. So it's kind of the most important chakra to heal, but we have to heal all the others. And it's worth doing. It's absolutely worth doing the work. And then the third eye chakra, so much about intuition, and that's the air element. That's strong air. And the person who lives in air with that element, they can see beyond what others can see. They make such amazing leaders because everyone else sees what's in front of them, but the air person sees beyond. They have that intuition. They have that telepathy. They trust their intuition, and they know how to charge forward with that. There's no self-doubt there. They've got that, and they trust it, and they move forward. And so when you're around someone with this strong air quality, they're going to say a lot of surprising things. I didn't see that. How did you see that? How did you imagine that? How did you come to that? I know a doctor who has great intuition. She's trained in Western medicine, but has the most amazing intuition. And other doctors say to her, "How did you figure that out?" She goes, "I don't know. I just could see it. I just thought it. It just came to me." And it's sort of ongoing. And air can be, all of these elements can also be receptive or expressive. So for example, air in the expressive side of things, they just think everything is going to work out, and they have this amazing sense of trust in everything will be fine, and we don't really need to act. They see all the truth in everything, and they're open to the next truth and the next truth and the next truth. But the expressive side of air is like that scientist searching, always wanting to find what's actually going on, needs to know every avenue of it. And so a distortion in air can be someone who appears to be in their head all the time. They're not in their heart. And that's a real tendency. And in our culture, not everybody's air. Our culture supports being in your head. There's an absolute shift to the heart, which is fantastic. We are, humanity in the Western world, to me, is really going through a fantastic shift. And I value that so much. But also people who are just naturally in their head. And so energy wants to flow up this way. These chakras, especially this one, has a hard time coming down here. That's a challenge. That's a challenge. And so that takes more effort. And the crown is actually an entirely different element, and that's ether, you know, and it's the cosmos. And I really find that we work on all the other chakras, and our crown chakra is just going to take care of itself. It's, you know, it's what really, it's where all this universal energy, the cosmos, comes in, and we're a part of everything. We really are one with everything. And to me, what I just have sort of a final thing to say, the number one thing, I think, if we can have a place and look at when we're in difficult situations, what is my wounding here? What's holding me back? Where am I hurting? What's going on? And try and heal that. And I will say, in all my years of experience, the number one wound that people have that stems in the root chakra, and I've never met anyone without it, is this subconscious feeling, or conscious, sometimes feeling of unworthiness or not good enough. And it makes us act in different ways, and that energy comes up. So when we work on healing that, you know, if we have a big unworthiness issue, we're going to attract someone with a big unworthiness issue, and these things go across. And so that to me is to try and feel in, you know, into yourself and heal that and find your worth. And we often find that with gratitude and with those deeper connections. So when you find you feel good about yourself with certain people, spend more time with them, talk with them more, so that you feel that worth in yourself, that you deserve to have these kinds of healthy connections. So I hope that was helpful, a little bit different take on the chakras and relationships, but I hope really helpful. I hope really helpful. And this has just been so great for me to hear and look at my own relationship from your perspective and Gottman, and go, oh, we're doing a great job. My husband brings me tea every morning in bed, and we talk for 20 minutes to half an hour before we get up. It's
lovely ritual.
Yeah.
Generous, giving and taking and connecting. It's the two of you against the world. Very unifying.
Great way to start the day.
So Cheryl, you do chakra readings. I know that you have done that with me. It was so enlightening, life-changing in many ways. So thank you. Do we have time to hot seat one or more people?
Absolutely. So we have until past.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Yeah. So I could probably do 2 quick ones. They often can take half an hour, but I think it's good we can maybe set an intention if anyone's open to a chakra reading. What I do is I'm able to see the energy in the chakras and what's going on. And sometimes I get a hit about what I look and see where people's strengths are and what needs improvement, and how to better improve the chakra. So I kind of look at where your attention may need to go primarily at first, what you might need to work on. But I also often at the beginning of a chakra reading, I get a message from the universe. I don't know if that's too out there for you guys.
Raise your hand if you're open for this. Everybody. All right.
Okay.
I don't know how to divvy that out.
Well, I'm going to go left to right. I have Sherry on my left.
Go left to right. Solved.
Is that okay?
So Cherie.
I'm sorry, Cherie.
Actually, my mother was Cheryl and I'm Cherie.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So it just takes me a moment to tune in, and it can also be interactive. Feel free to ask me a question, Cherie, or say anything during the chakra reading.
Well, and vice versa, I guess, ask me any question, that's fine.
That's cool.
What's your intention for this reading? Is there something you want answered?
I guess I'm not really sure what to expect, so no.
Okay.
Whatever you have to say.
Well, first off, you're very open. You're super easy to read. There's just, I think that's the big thing. There's such an openness, a real openness to your being. And there's a part of you, I don't know how much time you spend giggling. There's a part of you wants to giggle more. have that in your life where you giggle, and it's not so much belly laughing, but just giggling, more laughter. And that would really serve you. So I'll start with the root chakra. It's an interesting chakra. You have this, the chakras are round-ish, and so you have that in real depth of color. It's rich, vibrant, and then it's almost like you have a board or a stick, something long and narrow going across, which has created this lovely width. And width, when we have width in the root chakra, it stops us from falling over sideways. But the thing is, it's on top of the chakra. So it's some skills that these are like survival skills. I'm guessing ways that you've managed in the world without falling over. And the fact that they're on top, it's not really part of that chakra. And so I'm being shown you can go deeper into this chakra, and you have some lovely roots that come out of this chakra that penetrate into the earth. And so it's like the message from this chakra, and there's a lot of health in here. This is I don't see anything really seriously wrong, but to focus more on the depth of stability that you have, if that makes any sense, not your coping skills that you've sort of developed along the way. That may be more of the mind, or they're just more superficial, because you've got some nice depth here, and to establish that even further. So you've got some really nice earth energy here, deep, rich colors, deep, rich colors. Yeah, and as a matter of fact, your old ways of feeling safe and stable are no longer serving you. You're moving, you're transitioning into a new way of being that way, with more trust and just depth of knowing. So I'm actually seeing this superficial stuff moving away. That's really cool. Sure. And then I move to the sacral chakra. And there's you really receive something on the left, like quite a blow in this chakra. The left side, I'm seeing it as dark energy. This is something that could use to be healed. Something that happened. It was like, I get a sense it was something sudden, because I get what happened? What was that? It was just like, whoa. And it's reverberated through this whole sacral chakra. And yet, what still exists, more so, in a much larger way, there's a lovely flow of energy on the right side still. And this has been like this for a long time. A little bit of something at the back, a little bit of wounding, but I'm not sure what happened. But this is, whether it's old or new, it's still affecting you on the left side of the sacral. And this is very much about creativity, sexuality, one-on-one relationships. And I know the mother chakra is primarily the root, but it's also the mother relationship is very much in the sacral. So I'm getting a sense of some kind of blow that you need to finish working through, letting that heal, and let all this beautiful energy that's on the right side of this chakra go to the left. The left is a receptive side. And it's a nice big chakra. There's lots there. And so I move into the solar plexus, and there's some vibrancy, a tendency to hide your power. Hide your power. You've got all the power. It's not expressed the way it could be. It could be, this chakra could be much bigger. So I would say, just looking at these so far, you're pretty watery, and you've got some nice earth. You've really developed earth well. And often what happens in the element that we are primary, that's where the wounding is the most, because we're so sensitive. That's where our strengths are. So yeah, you're definitely a creative individual. And the solar plexus could use some work. And that's where you could call on the safety and stability of your root chakra, you know, to try and stand in your power. And like I said, it's not always being aggressive or outward or dominant or anything like that. It can be very quiet, and let this start to come out more in the solar plexus. It's a matter of focusing on it. So for whatever reason, it's shrunken back a bit, a fair bit actually, but otherwise it's in good shape. It needs to be enhanced. And we have the lightness of love, and an optimistic attitude. This is where we get the height of the heart chakra, and yours really comes up. You have this lovely flowing energy upward. And then the bottom of the heart chakra, this is where the energy is not strong, and that will, so what can be developed here in the heart is the depth of feeling. And that'll take you into the solar plexus. You know, these two chakras are connected that way. So once you can allow yourself to feel safe in feeling your deepest emotions, and what that does is, like, you just take the time to really feel deeply, that starts to enhance the depth of the heart, which is the bottom of the heart, and that'll help your sense of personal power. But you have a real lightness to your heart. It's lovely. So it makes you so nice to be around that way. It's actually almost bubbly. It's naturally optimism comes easily to you, and you have some good width here again, which really represents connection to others. You know, I don't see the chakras in the typical, you know, Hindu, the lotus flowers and all. I don't see any of that stuff. I see them as energy and what's happening, where the movement is, and that sort of thing. I love the top of your heart chakra, really nice to sit in, and that comes up. It comes up to the throat chakra, mostly in the front. So you can easily express this lightness in the top of the heart. There's some stuff at the back. There's kind of a no. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to do that. So there's a resistance. The back of the throat chakra is also very much about purpose, and that's a lot of the work I do is around that. And this also comes up from this. Well, if working on your solar plexus, it'll help, you know, just enhancing it. You've got some power there. It's not distorted. It's not messed up. You have some great power. It's just a matter of acknowledging it and stepping into that and feeling it and getting to know it better and expressing it. And that'll help this at the back, just letting yourself know that, yeah, it's safe to be a powerful woman and to say what you think and feel, because you're aware of truths. You're aware of your own inner truths. Yeah, and there's little bit of wounding in the middle here, and that's old conditioning, can be cultural or family. But just that, letting the energy come up from the solar plexus through the heart and into this throat chakra would really help you. So the nice thing is you've got it's really healthy in the front because of this optimistic heart. So you can utilize that. If you meditated on it, you can bring that energy into the back, into the rest of the chakra, and help heal all this old stuff, because this is a real strength for you in here. It's beautiful. You have good intuition. You have a nice third eye, especially in the front. It's really bright. And it's pretty common that there's not a lot of energy in the back of it that needs to be developed. And so you could certainly develop this. It's almost like, so you have some good air up here, and that you have the capacity to see beyond what others see. You have that great capacity. But also this, it's from the heart, this all comes up, and you've got this going on, this optimism and clarity. It's making the choice to, bring this energy to the back, and I keep going back to the solar plexus. That's one thing that'll make it bigger, and following your intuition and standing in it, even if other people think you're wrong, when you know you're right, and use that optimism that you have innately as you make that shift. Really nice crown, very bright. So you have a great spiritual connection, whether you're aware of it or not. The energy is flowing nicely. So that's pretty quick. I usually don't go that fast. But just we're limited in time. So how was that, Cherie? Do you have any questions?
No, I think you pretty much nailed it.
Yeah, and so you've got some wonderful strengths, and then the two areas of growth are this left side, whatever happened, big wham, in the sacral chakra, and then just really being in your power. Expand that solar plexus. You got it all going on. You just need to enhance it, expand that. Thank you. It was just a delight. All this lovely, there's certain parts I just want to sit with you and just stay in that. It feels so good. Okay. So who would like to go next? Just raise your hand. All right, Liddy. Is that how you say your name, Liddy? Okay.
That's it. Thank
By the
you.
way, did you see that?
And before we start, I just want to tell you that watching your face and seeing the joy as you're going through, that was so cool.
Oh,
I know. And you see, I'm like, I mean, Cheryl, you may not have the perspective that other people do. While you're doing this, you are grounded, you are centered, you are rooted and connected all the way. And then what happens, I mean, you're talking, you're experiencing, and we get to see how you're responding to whatever it is that you're seeing and how you do it. And your face literally lights up at different points as you're seeing whatever it is you see and how you see it. It's so fun to observe. It was really fun
that's
to
great.
light up with Cherie.
I don't have a poker face, and it's hard to, because I feel it all very strongly. It's quite I really like it. Thank you.
You're sharing with us in this other way. So Liddy, good thing to observe. Nice observation.
And do you have an intention, Liddy, or a question?
Yeah, knowing where I need to work so that I can release some of this, as you and you can say anything you see. I'm not I don't hide stuff. Okay.
Okay, really good, really good. Thank you. it's the message I'm getting is that you're a soft one, and that, you know, your softness really is your superpower. It's your softness is your superpower. That's your, it's flows out of you like a real gift. And it's this lovely softness, for lack of a better word. I'm just getting soft nature, soft. And there's so much power in that. Well, this is interesting. So you're, you know, I tune into your root chakra, and it's all these deep, like burgundy roots all coming down into the earth. And there are a lot of them, really. And you're going through a shift, and it's making your legs wobbly. It's almost like your legs are, you're, even though you're solid and stable, you're sort of on shaky ground.
So
Because you're moving into a new way of being solid and stable.
it's pretty interesting that I was working with somebody recently, and I told her, I see my root chakra going right out through the torso of my body, but my legs are floating free.
Your legs are in the front of you. Your legs are in the front of you, and they're kind of wobbly.
Yeah.
But what's happening is, so yeah, you're right. Your legs are floating free, absolutely. But what's happening is these old legs of yours that are in front are dislodging. They're dislodging. They're loosening up, and you're developing new legs. And so really, it's a big shift in your foundation. It's a big shift in your foundation, and so it's kind of like it's the way I'm sort of seeing it. If you see like I'm seeing like an amaryllis plant, you know, those Christmas with the red flowers. It's a giant bulb. So if you imagine that in the soil, there's, for example, a daisy, and the daisy bulb is however big it is, not that big. But this amaryllis was planted long ago, and it's coming up. It's coming up. It pushes the daisy out. This is what's happening with your old legs. They're being pushed out. They're going to be dislodged. And your years of work in developing this lovely root chakra, it's very deep and strong, grounded. And the new legs, you're really in transition because the new legs aren't very deep yet. And so that's for you to focus on this new foundation that you're developing right now, as we speak, in your life, in every aspect. The more you focus on that, question yourself on it, become who you really want to be. There's space for that right now. What do you want to stand on? It's what do you want to stand on? What do you believe in? There's also, when I work with people, and if you meditate on your chakras, you can imagine that you have a spike that comes down from the back of the root chakra, the very back, and that holds all that you take a stand for and what you really believe in. And I'm being shown, if you do that and focus on that, you know, whether you, I don't know, I can't remember if you're one that meditated, but you can meditate on that or just journal on it, what you really stand for, what you really believe in, and bring that into that root chakra at the back, bring it down into the earth, then these new legs are really going to take hold and come down. And that'll get you through this transition.
Thank you. You do not know how totally you have just described my whole life and what I've been going through.
Yeah, I hear it. And then what'll happen is, you know, you have this new energy that's coming up on the top of the root chakra, and it's bubbling up, and it's just like, oh God, finally, you're going to be here. It's really nice. Makes me kind of want to cry. Really nice. You deserve it. Yeah. You've been through a lot, and you've really made some great choices. super wide sacral chakra. Holy smokes. It's so wide I can't even see it all. So you definitely have such a capacity to be so receptive and so expressive, especially in one-on-one relationships. Like it's I've never seen anything like it. It's endless here. And yet, so it goes out so far. And yet there's a piece missing in the middle of those two. It's like the energy extends out. And so this is super fantastic, beautiful. And I think the next step for you, and you need the support of the root chakra to manage all this. You know, the root chakra holds everything. Is when you get this joining of these two aspects of yourself. You see, they're not quite joined right now. There's lusciousness underneath this chakra. It's beautiful. I don't buy into the traditional colors. I'm sorry, you guys. There's this, I often see, and the traditional colors are based on upward meditation, where we look down at the chakras, and those are the colors. In downward meditation versus upward and downward, we look at the colors straight on. But what I see a lot of in healthy sacral chakras is like a lemon yellow, and that's what you have going on here. Lusciousness underneath, and it's like there is going to be magic happen in your life when you bring these strong expressive qualities of yours and the strong receptive qualities. When you marry these two together, and you're like this close from that happening. It's just incredible. So it's being aware of how you receive in the world. You do it so well, man. You are a good listener, and you know how to speak well with clarity. There's and express and creativity. You have all this wonderful stuff. And so this little piece in the middle really wants to join these two aspects of yourself, and then you're kind of going to be kind of like a goddess in that sacral chakra. Really, I just see you coming into a whole being with that. Wow, very cool. Okay, and so we've got some fantastic power all in the front of the chakra, in the solar plexus, nice and vibrant, really strong. Lots of it's radiant, so much golden light. It's beautiful. And then at the back, there's some aspects missing. It's like the energy is not as strong at the very back. You've got it all going on in the sides and the front. And the back is you know, with the solar plexus and the heart chakra, it's about capacity to receive support, to have that kind of support, that your power is supported by others, your truth and power, and this is a strength. And so it's just not there so much. It's weak. You can absolutely strengthen that. And so that can be just asking for specific support from people who want to support you. You know, there may be people who are supporting you, and maybe you're not letting it in the way you could. So to be vulnerable and let that in, that's power and vulnerability. And so even if I say the words to you, wow, Lydia, you are one amazing woman, and to really let that in into the depth of your heart and feel that fully, and that comes in the back of the solar plexus. There, so I see that it already brings energy. So you got lots of energy here, And it's bringing it into the back. Very nice. You're not afraid to be seen for who you really are. There's a lot of truth and power here. I haven't gotten up to the throat chakra. Is more about being seen and heard. But this is lovely. It's like your so the heart chakra is almost like, it's just like an exquisite dance. The energy here swirls. It's the softness of light. That's right. That was the message in the beginning. The softness, exquisite softness. It's like I see it's these ultra fine swirls of energy. The flow, like I think of like classic ballroom music or from medieval times. There's music in your heart. It's very nice. And so it goes all around, and here again, just a little bit of energy. It's weaker in the very, very back. So again, support in all that you are in your heart. It's like feeling a hand on your back, and even allowing in support from the universe. We can connect with different spiritual beings that can be helpful, call them in, angels, whatever it is. But opening up to more support. And it's just this constant swirling. And it goes up to the chin. So that's really nice. And you've got the depth going on. There's this interaction between the solar plexus and the heart is fantastic, because they're two opposites. The solar plexus is so strong and vibrant, radiant, and then this beautiful, soft, swirling energy of the heart, and they meld together. So you can feel deeply for sure, and you can accept your feelings. This acceptance, very nice. So there's something very unique in the very, very front of your throat chakra that is like a white little ball of light. And if I were to, I have to interpret this. Yeah, it's you're able to give, spiritual perspectives, and it's very much expression of higher knowledge than yourself. It's more like spiritual knowledge. It's in front. It's not even in the chakra. And so it's white. It's very pure. Oh dear. So there's some work here in the back of the throat. It's interesting. You have this is really serving you. I have a feeling this white wants to come in and enter more. So what you've got going at the back of the throat chakra is not so pretty, but good. It's all okay. It's like these strands of darkness. You at some point in your life, you thought your purpose was one thing maybe, and then another. This is very much about purpose. And so you're much more in touch with your purpose right now, but this old stuff is kind of hanging on. It's just sort of hanging on. So you need to consciously, you can, do a ritual or journal or do something to let go of all that you thought you were, all that you thought your purpose was before. Any thoughts on previous purpose in life, it's like consciously let that go so that you can move more into your purpose today. if that makes sense. So this is also, you know, it makes sense that this is going on back here when you have this stuff going on in the root chakra. It's part of your new foundation. So you get the root chakra, everything we talked about, and then this is really the next area. It's kind of like, why are you hanging on to that? Like, why is that still there? Because there's this lovely new energy in the back there. There we go. And it can't fully develop. It's a great sense of purpose. And this old stuff, it's just like, it's just a matter of releasing it, because it's not like you can just cut it off. It's kind of stuck up in there. Yeah, so it's really by focusing on what is your purpose here on earth. And you know, one of the meditations I like to give people is what I call the deathbed meditation. So something you can do is you can think about, journal, meditate on, what if you're on your deathbed? What if you're on your deathbed? Looking from that perspective, what do you see your purpose as? Because we often go through life in these different threads or careers or even parenting. All sorts of different things lead us to purpose. And so what will you on your deathbed be grateful that you did, or that you grateful that you didn't do? What would you change now? And so it's like this whole thing about, you know, same thing with the root chakra. What do I believe, and what do I stand for? And then this comes up into the throat chakra. So let that start to take up the space. And then whatever you used to believe that you didn't believe before, that's where you can let go of all that in the throat, in the back of the throat. And so consciously, I used to believe this when I was 30, and now I don't. I used to stand for this, now I've changed. And let that old stuff go. And I can see you're starting to think about that, and there's like part of this on the left side starting to loosen up. So that's exactly what will help this. And then there's because of this energy, all the energy that comes up, then I'm able to really see the classic light blue energy in the middle of the chakra. Really nice. And so it's a matter of letting that all expand into the back there. You let that little bit go. And your crown is very connected to your third eye. Big time connection, really bright. It's almost like your third eye gives the energy coming into the crown chakra a place to land. Like it just goes right there. And the third eye holds it there. I mean, it's so much. Your crown's really quite, it's a lot of energy flowing in. And is it okay if I just make a little adjustment in your third eye to let more of that come into the rest of your chakras? Do I have your permission?
Yes.
It's open. There's so much light here, and I just want to open that a little bit more to get everything going right in. Okay. There we go. That's great. So yeah, keep trusting your intuition. And this natural energy that wants to flow downward from the cosmos. Big, bright, open crown chakra. Lovely. Okay. Any questions, Liddy?
I'm not sure about a question, but a couple of statements. I feel so validated that what I have been working to accomplish for especially the last few months, but over the last 4 or 5 years that I'm getting there. When you talk about letting go of the things that I needed to be or that I thought was my purpose, I'm having a fight with myself as we speak, basically, about whether I should move to Tennessee to help out my brother and my sister and her husband because they really need the help, or if I should take care of myself and move to El Paso like I wanted to, or my friend who's here where I am right now, who's just had a serious loss in his life, and I'm here supporting him. And it's like, it's like, okay, what's the most beneficial thing to do? Because right now, it's like they're all right here pulling.
Yeah, and so that's definitely your challenge. And so it's spiritually, all these things are presenting to help your soul evolve, And that's why I suggested making decisions either from your deathbed or thinking of what do I really stand for now? What do I really believe in? What do I really value? What's the most important thing to me? And then make your decision based on that.
Okay.
Because
I have a quote.
Yeah, you're at a turning point. Yeah.
I have a quote from a book about it's from Scott Peck, and it's about having to know when to let somebody support themselves was more valuable than supporting them. And that's exactly what just came into my mind. So I think, oh, I feel chills and I feel, yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Liddy. I do not have time for another reading, so that's okay. But I will just put my email in here. If someone else really wants a reading, just contact me.
Beautiful. Thank you.
And so I'll just put this in here to everyone. Oh, I hope that was useful. This was so much fun.
Oh, thank you so much. We think it's pretty fun too.
Love what you guys are doing. I mean, this is just so important. It is so important in so many ways, relationships and intimate relationships. And that's what, humanity is really all about.
It is. And to know that you have the tools, the intention, the support, and the ability to navigate all of the wonderful twists and turns that our own energy brings to us, that you've clarified through chakras and how to balance that and adjust and how to read for that and how to open things up so that we can step into or understand, appreciate who we were, acknowledge who we are, and step into who we would like to become with intention, showing the energy and being aware of the energy that we bring to ourselves and to relationships, and that we bring and will make an impact in the world in our purpose for being here. And moving through that with intention is such a great gift. It makes each of us a great gift that we're contributing to, the universe, our existence, whatever. So that's what understanding your own energy and the energy in relationships is all about. Cheryl, thank you so much for sharing your talents and skills and beauty. We love watching you light up when you see us and validate us like that. So thank you all so much. We're good to go.
So
Okay.
And I'll see you next